So...
May I present Bill's Mom's story time? One of my favorite times of any desert bus.
Yes. So, this all started a couple days ago when at work, uncharacteristically, I smacked my head. And all of a sudden, this story about Bill resurged into my mind. And I was like, oh my God, I had totally forgotten that. And then I realized why I'd forgotten it. It was because, as the chat knows, Bill wasn't always Bill. Before Bill was Bill, Bill had a different name.
Yeah.
And so when I think of Bill's stories, I've only ever thought of him as Bill. I had to go back further into the vault to the pre-Bill days. So, does anybody in the chat remember what Bill's real name is?
Yeah, they know.
I gotta say, he had a name that his mother hated. Hated it so much that for his first 6 months, I didn't call him by a name.
No.
I mostly called him the baby or the tyrant.
One of the...
Because he would eat every 2 hours, every 2.5 hours if I was lucky. And I got to the point where I was hiding scraps of food in the toys in his room so that I could sleep past 4:30 in the morning, because other words, he was up at 4:30 demanding food. So at that point, when he was still called the baby, I realized that the standard hippie food for babies really wasn't giving him enough nutrition. And as much as I thought he enjoyed breast milk, it really wasn't feeding him enough. So I talked to the doctor, said I could make him pablum. So I stirred up some pablum, and that really wasn't good enough for him. You know, that wasn't enough food. You know, it's just rice and a little sugar, a little water. You know, pablum's pretty low. So I decided that I would make him oatmeal. You know, oatmeal's a little better, or a little quality food. I know that he liked the smell of food, because as soon as I cooked anything for myself, he would demand to eat. So I only ever ate cold food, because he could tell the smell of food from, the time he was maybe 2 days old. So I'm making him this really nice pot of oatmeal, and I put a little cinnamon in it, and it smelled good. And I'm, you know, it's like 5 a.m. and I'm stirring this oatmeal on the stove, and all of a sudden I can feel some teethless gumming thing chewing the back of my leg. And I look down, and there's this baby trying to bite my calf. And I pull him off, and I'm like, no baby, the oatmeal's almost ready. So I had, at that point, I had a baby gate to protect the kitchen from the living room, because I had baby-proofed the living room as best I could. So I put him on the other side of the baby gate so I could continue to stir this oatmeal. It was just, I should have had the fast-cooking oatmeal, but I didn't. I hadn't thought of that, you know. And so he's on the other side, and I'm getting pretty close, and out of the corner of my eye, I see some rapid movement. And I knew enough to pay attention. Well, there was a chair that I used to sit and read stories for the kids, and it was a big easy chair. It was kind of my chair. You know, he wasn't big enough to eat it or sit in it yet, so it was okay. And I noticed this little gray thing on the floor in front of my chair. And it hit me that that was a gift from the cat for me. And that Bill was headed directly for it. So I did what all good parents will do, and without any thought of my own personal safety, I leapt over the baby gate in a full dive, got to the gray thing on the floor just in time to cover the dead mouse with my hand as Bill bit the back of my knuckles. Oh my God!
I was hungry.
So he didn't actually eat it, but he really wanted to.
I'm just glad that that was the gift that the cat left behind, because I was worried for a second.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a,
I
like
first
a
went
snake
to a
or something.
hairball, and I thought that was bad.
I went somewhere even worse.
I was going number 2s there.
Yeah.
She said
Oh.
gray.
Yeah, I changed
Gray,
the, I changed
yeah.
the hairball when she said gray. But
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You.
And I realized I'd forgotten some of these stories because I was so traumatized. that I've just blocked them out.
So awesome.
I know, that's
And
why.
that's how Bill started his eating challenge.
And that's how. And that's what I realized yesterday or the day before when this hit me. That was the first weird food Bill tried to eat.
That's right.
Now I protected him that time, but really, you know, my chances of protecting him every time were really slim, because it was all the time.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just love-
I've not often heard this room go silent like
Wow,
this.
yeah.
I just love as you're describing it, watching the chat, saying things in all caps like, Bill, no.
Yes.
No. Like you can go back in
Please
time and be
don't.
like, no, baby.
No.
Bad baby.
No, that didn't really work. But
Bill Origins.
Now, if people like that story,
Yeah.
what should they do?
People know, like,
Feel free
The
to
last
donate
thing-
for that story.
I think that's a great option, an art challenge.
Yeah.
And I actually, indeed, I was thinking that on the way over.
Yeah.
I would love an art challenge if somebody would draw that climactic scene of the baby trying to eat meat and the mouse underneath. You know, there's some good art to be had there, I think.
Yeah.
but I seem to recall there was something on that
Do you
where.
remember that?
No, but you
Are
told
you
the
sure?
story. No, I don't. You told me the story before where after that, you found out that I had, the first time I got my first tooth, I was biting the back of your ankle, trying to get
Oh
you.
yeah, no, you teethed on the
Yeah.
back of my leg, cooking oatmeal not long after that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
You
the
find
chewing,
out-
the chewing on me never really stopped.
You found out I had the first tooth when I.
Yeah. No,
True blood
no,
or something.
no, truly, I found when you had your first tooth when you bit my nose.
Right.
You know, you pick the little babies up, you're like, oh,
He was
so
trying
cute,
to
so
eat your
cute. And he
face.
bit my nose and he drew blood with his first tooth. It's great, you know, the true stories are so easy to remember because
Yes.
they're,
Some sort of reverse
True.
Greek god.
it's quite bizarre, isn't it?
Yes.
He's a mythical creature.
Yes,
You are a
yes, it
mythical
is.
creature. Who knew?
I am Bill, devourer of face.